Hello and welcome to Movie Mayhem. Today we're going to talk about Knives Out. This was another movie that I hadn't seen anything about at all, so it was a blind watch. Is 2019, directed by Ryan Johnson, and I mean that's kind of important because the movie he did before it was. I've said it before. It took me 4 tries to make it all the way through that. I don't blame him. I blame the studio entirely. He did Looper. Looper's a good film, but Knives Out is impressive. I was really surprised. So again, newer movie. I'm going to try to avoid spoilers. It's like a detective thriller with a comedy of errors. Mr. Bond plays a Southern detective who's very famous and was hired anonymously to investigate the murder of an extremely wealthy man amidst his entire family begging for his inheritance. You've got his nurse, who is, the only one not in the family. So it's almost Clue-esque, but without being so silly. Now, where I give a huge props is, I thought I saw all the twists, and it did a great job of misdirecting. Not that a lot of them, detective mystery films, they'll blatantly just lie to you, right? Show you one thing, and then later, haha, we tricked you. It's like, no, you literally just showed me a lie on screen, so I believe that's what happened. This doesn't do that. It shows everything in such a way that you're thinking, okay, well, maybe this is what's happening. Maybe this is what's happening. And it was well made. The dialogue worked very well. All the characters, Jamie Lee Curtis, Don Johnson, their interaction between each other works really well. And it kind of helps when you have a large ensemble cast like this. You kind of got it in the bag. If you got a good script, you're going to have a solid movie. I think this kind of shows, Johnson has an ability to make really a solid film with great acting, which once again speaks to there's a problem with a certain studio. His work on Breaking Bad, that was good too. So what happened? Why was the acting terrible? I can't blame him. There's another problem in there. And this is something I'd like to see him do more of this style. It was serious enough, but kept the comedy in a realistic manner, where I don't view it like a Clue was kind of funny. This was much more, the humor came in at the right time to maybe lighten the situation, but not pull you completely out. And the way Daniel Craig portrays his detective character pulls you in. Like, I wanted to see what was he gonna find. The nurse, very sympathetic character, so you feel for her. They do a good job of making you despise most of the family because they're all just kind of the typical movie family where you've got a whole family vying for the person who died's money. Great job of that. Lots of subtle plot twists in there. Jamie Lee Curtis mentions playing games with her father, which eventually comes around at the end for a pretty cool reveal. A lot of the things that are said by Trombley before his death, those factor into each of the little scenes. So it's, if you're watching it for the first time, pay attention to everything that's going on. There's a lot of cool tidbits that sprinkle throughout the movie to make like, cool, I knew that had to come back at some point. Some are obvious, some are subtle. Also, I love the dude's house. I want a house like that. So there's a thing where you climb up the trellis, somebody climbs the trellis to go into a window. But the window doesn't exist on the inside. It's like a secret window, so you have a secret access point. I really want to make a house like that. And to go to the study is also a secret door. Wouldn't it be great to have it's effectively like a bat cave in your house? The set design was really cool. This felt like a throwback to more dialogue-based film, a more plot-driven film, right? There wasn't this big visual overload of colors, effects, and it didn't feel like it was trying to be something other than what it was. So that was a great sell for me. I think the dialogue that the characters give and their acting throughout the film, very, very solid. The surprise at the end, you might see it coming to an extent, but it was done in a great way. The nurse, this is not a spoiler, really. The nurse has a problem where if she lies, she vomits. And it's such a bizarre concept to throw in, but just adds so much flavor to the character. And each of the characters, this is something that really shocked me. With a huge cast like that and so many characters, they really fleshed out the characters. I felt like I kind of knew every single character in the movie. And that's not something that's easy to do in an ensemble film. I mean, it is a little over 2 hours, but even still, I've watched films that are 3 hours where they barely flesh out 2 characters. So that's another thing. You're kind of vested in each of these characters, thinking like, maybe they could have done it. Maybe this person could have done it. Why would they have done it? That type of thing. So I think it was very captivating all around. So I would definitely recommend it. I'm curious to see what are your all's thoughts on this particular movie. And, all directors can have a flub. And in this case, I honestly, I feel bad for Rian Johnson. I really do, because he made a ton of money, so I guess I shouldn't feel bad. He probably got paid a huge paycheck for making The Last Jedi. And good on him. Go take that money, man. Take that money. I will never fault him for taking the money. But it's like, the guy's good, and that movie is just so bad that, I know he gets a lot of flack being blamed for it too. And I'm like, no, it just can't. I don't believe it could be him. And that's kind of why I'm reviewing this too, because I want to dive in. It couldn't have been him. I watched Looper, I watched Knives Out, his work in Breaking Bad, and Last Jedi. That's not the same. It just doesn't even feel the same. By any means, it doesn't feel like the same person could have made that. So I believe, he had some serious restraints. Probably legally never allowed to actually talk about it, which, if they pay you enough money, that makes sense. So anyway, what y'all think about it? Let me know, and let me know some other movies you'd like me to check out. Be sure to like, subscribe, and check me out on Patreon, and we'll see you here next time at Movie Mayhem.